In this video, I'm going to show you how to crush potions and herbology in Hogwarts Legacy. Now, to do this, you really need the room of requirement. You can kind of start doing this once you do the potions class and the herbology class, but you really need to be about halfway through the main quest to get to this. And so, once you get the room of requirement, you can start ramping up your potions and your herbs. And the herbology is actually probably the strongest build in the game. So actually killing them with plants is better than killing them with spells, ironically. So this is the room requirement. We're not going to talk about the Vivarium stuff, but we're going to talk about things that you can do in the room requirement. The first thing is that Professor Weasley, you want to do all her tasks, so she gives you all the different spells. I recommend that, when you get about the time that you get the room requirement, you're going to also get to start slotting talents. And so I think what you want to do is you want to slot your room of requirement spells in a different thing, so you can easily putz around the room requirement and change it around. I think that the other thing I think a lot of people are telling you about the potions and spells is wrong, that you need to get so many plants in this conjuration or that. So you can go up to 5 small plants per table, up to 3 medium plants per table, and up to 2 large plants per table. But if you're just starting out, if you're kind of low on cash, it's okay to start out with like 1 large pot and 1 small pot and 1 medium pot, because you can really ramp up your things, and as you get more gold, as you unlock Alamora, the lock picking spell, and as you get the Vivarium, where you can farm the animals in the Vivarium, so you can get the knapsack. But you're not going to get the knapsack until about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through, and you won't get those magical beasts, which you can sell in Hogsmeade for 120 gold each. Now, you do need to use to create. So you go to your conjuration spell, right? And there's potions, so you can make potion tables, right? And it's going to cost you moonstone depending on which one. I think a lot of people are telling you that you need to have the biggest potion station at once. I actually think you don't need that. Potions are what you need the least of in terms of what you're going to want to have. You actually need more if you're going to spend your moonstone and spend your gold to get these conjurations from the tomes and scrolls. So here, let's go to the map here and go to Hogsmeade. So tomes and scrolls is the place that you want to be. You want to go down here, and you're going to need to buy his conjurations to kind of upgrade the tables and stuff that you can have. I think you start out with like 1 small pot conjuration and 1 medium pot conjuration, and also 1 potion table conjuration. You're limited to 7 tables for herbology, so having the bigger tables is better. But as you can see here, I bought out all his conjurations, so I have nothing to buy from him. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that way. You can. I maxed out my potions well before I had enough money to buy most of his conjurations, or even like the 2 large pots, and I was still maxing out my weapons. Now, so my cabbages and mandrakes. So you get the cabbages and mandrakes at this place called the Dogweed and Deathcap. So to get this started, you want to buy those seeds for the mandrake, the Chinese chomping cabbages, and then the venomous tentacula over at the Dogweed and Death Cap. And this is really hard to find because it's covered up by the UI. The world map is usually covered up when you're zoomed in, and you never see that one. But that is part of Hogsmeade. And then the Magic Neep, you just want to buy all. So you want to buy all the potion recipes. You want to buy all the seeds. And that's all you want to buy. And then from Tomes of Scrolls, you're going to buy different conjurations. Alright, so let's go back to Hogwarts. So these are the 3 locations: Magic Neep, Tomes and Scrolls, Dogweed, and Death Cap. Right? Oh, and one more location. Sorry. Yeah, there's one more location is potions. You want to get the J. Pippin's potions recipes, right? So early on, you want to be spending your money on potion recipes and seeds, right? Because you're going to grow all these. Now, you can buy the ingredients from these people, but you don't want to ever buy the ingredients if you can help it. You want to just, and you don't want to buy the potions from them, and you don't want to buy the venomous tentacula plants. You want to buy the seeds to the plants, because that you're going to be able to grow them for nothing versus it's going to drain your gold so fast. So you want to spend your gold on seeds in these places, the 2 seed vendors, and then you want to spend your money on potion recipes, right? So early in the game, if you're thinking, I don't know what to spend my stuff on, spend your money on your potion recipes and seeds even before you get the Room of Requirement. And then last, you're going to spend your money in Tomes of Scrolls for the conjurations to make the tables. So here we go. We go back to Hogwarts, and you can find it. It's in that star under Secret Rooms, Room of Requirement. So that's the easiest way to get there. And that should be like your home base. Like, you finish a mission, you sell stuff, you come back here, and then you loot plants. Right, so I'll just go through the plants here. There's this Mallowsweet, and we've got Knotgrass, we got Didney, we got the Mandrake, Chinese Chomping Cabbages, and we got the Venomous Tentacula in the other room. One thing that I'm not growing, let's see, is one of the medium-sized plants. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to empty my pot. So I hit L3. And this is a medium one, so I can either put small or medium in here. And I'm going to plant Shrivel Fig. Now, the reason why I haven't been planting Shrivel Fig is I almost never need it. But, you know, that is one plant that you can have. So when you have the money, you can get these automatic chomping stations, and they give you a random non-lethal plant. So it's not going to be the 3 lethal plants that you use in your wheel. So our wheel here, we got the Chinese Chomping Cabbages, the Mandrake, and the Venomous Tentacula as our offensive plants. And boy, do they do a lot of damage. So this particular character does about 6,000 damage for these each one of these plants, something in that range. And then you're gonna, you know, create potions with these things. So there's potion ingredients that you need for your herbology. So Dittany leaves is something you get like Dittany leaves as part of the herbology thing. They give you an actual place in the herbology classroom, a small pot to work with. So you can actually start brewing Wig and Weld before you get the Room of Requirement, because you get the potion station in the potions classroom and then the small pot in the herbology classroom. But Dittany leaves, that's for the healing potion. Now, the Eldris doesn't have anything. Those are things that you have to farm outside of the Room of Requirement. And then the Maxima, those are also monster items. But the invisibility potion, you need the Knotgrass Sprig. You need the Fluxweed stem for the Felix Felicis if you're if you're one of the PS5 players, you get like the pre-order bonus. Otherwise, if you're on PC or Xbox, you don't get the Felix Felicis. And then the Shrivel Fig is for the Thunder Brew, which is a really great potion to have. It does damage over time. It's just even early on, I think that's just a wonderful potion because it just makes your fight so much better because you're basically have an extra while you're drinking Thunder Brew. That I'll show you what happens. So we'll drink it. Right. So the lightning is going off, and its damage over time effect is quite long, and it will hit them. And then we got the focus potion, so we need the Flux Swig's stem, and so and then the knot grass for the invisibility. Yeah, but and Dittany for the Wiggenweld. So there's obviously some potions that we don't need to have, that we don't need any of the herbology items, but we want to be growing those non-lethal herbology items so we can brew all the potions. And then the rest of the potions ingredients that we're going to have to go out in the world. So if we go out let me just maybe go to the world map. So right behind here's like 7 Ashwinder eggs, for example, right? And we're using that, I think, for the Elder's Potion. And you can zoom into the map to see what you need. So for instance, right here is a mongrel lair. I love the Elder's Potion because if you have it upgraded, you're basically invincible while that is in effect. So you can just run right at the enemies, throw a bunch of cabbages at them, and they're all going to be dead. And then if you got the upgraded herbology skills. And then here we've got like a, let's see, right down, this is Treasure Vault. We have a Dubog lair, so Dubog tongues are necessary for one of our potions, for instance. So you just zoom in on the map and find the animals that you need. Now, if you wanted to get randomized potions, and then you don't need to get any ingredients for that, you get the hopping pots, which you can have 3 of. So what you're gonna, if you're low on, so right now I have 999 Moonstone because I have these things, but these conjurations here are kind of expensive. So let's see if I can go to my conjuration menu, and so these are quite nice. We're going to go to the utility and scientific material refiner. Right, I just placed that right there. You can have 3 of those, but if you don't have the scientific material refiner, you can get enough moonstones early on by just taking the pictures off the wall. So you see, I took all the pictures off the wall in this part of the place because I needed the moonstone early on, and I just haven't been bothered to put them back up. But it's not just in the first room. You can take all these pictures off in the second room and in the staircase. So, for instance, I'm going to go to the spell that takes stuff away, and you see I get moonstone for that. Right? And then I can... there's no penalty for taking stuff off the wall. You can always put it back on. So I'm going to put some new hangings on now. The beast diagram seems to be too big. So we'll try something else. We'll do a painting. Maybe I have, like, my painting size is too big. So you can also change size. There we go. And it just, you're not... So don't ever worry about, like, taking down one of these stations if you want to do your potions or your herbology. And then, you're not going to use the potion stations that much compared to the herbology, so you should be picking up the plants a lot more. The other tip I would have for you is, okay, so if you kind of get to the maximal level, or you're not at the maximal level, you really would like to put down these fertilizer stations. So I'll take it off and then put it back on. But so that costs 10 moonstone, and you can, of course, this is, I think, no, that'll be under herbology, right? And then we scroll down here. There's the chopping stations that give you the random non-lethal stuff, and the composters is what I have here, right? And you can, there's several different styles, and so I just got my 10 moonstone back, but I get it. I'm gonna spend it again, and you can have up to 3 of these. And what you want to do is you want to be collecting these periodically. These pop every 4 minutes. So some of these some of the plants, the tentacula takes 15 minutes. The cabbages maybe like 12, and the mandrake maybe 10, and the smaller plants take 10 minutes. And every 10 minutes for these refiners, the moonstone come up. But you want to be collecting this fertilizer that is just costs you 10 moonstone, and then it creates infinite fertilizer, and you want to be using it on your venomous plants. So for instance, Chinese chopping cabbages here. I'm going to empty the pot to show you what I'm doing. So empty the pot, and they're going to put a new Chinese chopping cabbages. So once you buy the seeds, you get unlimited seeds. So you don't have to worry about it. So it takes 12 minutes, but it's only going to give me 1. But I should put fertilizer on this, so I get 2. So you get +1 plant for fertilizing. And that really only makes sense with the offensive plants. So the mandrake, which grows in 1s, and the Chinese chomping cabbages that grows in 1, and then the venomous tentacula, which grows in 1. So you want to fertilize all those, and then the other ones don't fertilize. It's just not worth it, because you're just going to grow such a large balance of these other ones, because the issue is that you can only hold 12 of the offensive plants at a time, just like 12 potions, except for the Wiggenweld, which is 25. And so you just won't build up that much. So all the time I'm usually waiting to go out questing and use my offensive plants. I can't loot them all, right? But if you have 2 medium-sized tables of 3, then you'll get 12 Chinese chomping cabbages if you fertilize them, if you put them all Chinese chomping cabbages. I put in the shrivel fig to show you that, but I don't really use the shrivel fig that much, because I don't make that many of that potion, that I couldn't just get them from the chopping stations, right? So you can also get this. In terms of priorities, you want to get a large pot, and you want to put down a small pot and a medium pot. Those are most important. So you want to put down a potion station, and you can put up, I think, up to 7 potion stations. And then after that, I would say put in get this fertilizer, because that's going to increase the amount of yield that you're going to get for these offensive plants, which do tons and tons of damage. And then the next thing I would do, if I had more gold to go back to tomes and scrolls, would be to get bigger planting stations. So I would get a 2 planting station for the large pots, and put, so now I have 3 potting stations for the 3x2 for the venomous tentacula. And that gives me, what is it? That gives me 12 at a time. So whenever I'm done questing, I go back and I can completely fill my inventory if it's tapped out. And the same thing if I have if I upgrade to the 3 planters per table, I can have. I just need 2 medium tables to get all the Chinese chomping cabbages I need, and then if I upgrade to the 5 small, then I can get all the mandrake that I can need in one go in 6 pots, and then I got 4 extra pots. That's a good point. So why am I growing an extra mandrake there? I don't know. So maybe I should get rid of that mandrake and put something else. So maybe Dittany leaves. So we'll put Dittany so we can make Wiggenweld. More Wiggenweld. But you're going to, for these things, because your limit of your inventory is like $9.99, you're going to find that you're going to have a very big inventory of these other things. So like $9.99 is the maximum moonstone. So Fluxweed stem, I'm actually kind of low on Fluxweed stem. So I have a lot of Dittany, I have a lot of Mallowsweet, right? Mallowsweet you only use for the Merlin trials, so you don't need that much Mallowsweet. I have like 5 18 knots wings, so maybe Fluxweed stem I should pot in a small pot. So let's see. So right here. So I inspect, empty the pot. We get Mallowsweet, Mandrake. Yeah, so we don't actually get that. So Fluxweed is a tall plant. Oh, so that must be grown in large pots. Right, so that's probably why I'm only getting it randomly, the Fluxweed stem. Alright, so we'll get more Dittany. And so, yeah, I mean, what I could do is I could, like, take down one of these things, but, you know, it's not worth it because I'm actually getting that in these stations just randomly. So if I was running really low on that large potted plant, but I would rather be able to fill up my venomous tentacula without waiting than to have have like hundreds and hundreds of Fluxweed. So you know, not all of these plants are necessarily worth growing once you have a few of them, and then once you have a lot of money, then you can get these chopping tables, and you can get the moonstone creations, and then by that time, then you're ready for the upgrades associated with the Vivarium. But for the Vivarium, you're not going to get to that until you get to the quest. Let's see. It's a main quest. You can't miss it, but you do have to get a little further in the story to the elf, the knapsack, and the loom, and then you're going to have tons of money because what you can go do is I have a knapsack that's pretty full, so I'll just sell what's in my knapsack. I don't need it. I've actually kind of stopped collecting the Vivarium stuff, but once you get the knapsack, then you're just going to be rolling in money because you can go to this lady at the Brooded Peck, and with all the animals that you captured, the easiest to capture is the one that the house elf shows you first, and just you keep on going back. You can refresh if you refresh day and night like 7 times, they'll come back. But there's also there's so many of these dens of the magical beasts that you can put in your Vivarium and your knapsack that you probably even don't need to refresh. You just kind of go around. So from her, when you get to the Vivarium stage, I would say the only thing you really need to buy until you get to late in the game is the Graph horn for upgrades. But I'm just going to show you so we can sell. These all seem like pretty good things, but we're going to sell them. Destral, Duracall. I've got them all in my Vivariums. So my Vivariums are basically full right now. And I had to take them out because we started the breeding program. But that's for another video. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Hogwarts Legacy.